Hello, welcome to this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. NBA, Wednesday, November 5th. We got a huge slate on board for Wednesday after some good-looking games on Tuesday, only 6 on Tuesday, so you know what that means. The next day, all kinds of them. If you're new to our show or been here before, welcome aboard. Great, glad to have you here. All of our shows brought to you on YouTube, brought to you by the world's #1 sports betting app, Outlier. Also, private Discord channel available. You'll find a link for both in the comment section of this episode, as well YouTube channel page. All right, since we got so many games getting it going, we better hop to it here, right? 7 o'clock Eastern time is where we'll start. Jazz, Pistons. Jazz on the road, getting 10.5, 11, 230 total. Pistons have looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie there. A little disappointed in them early, but the last couple of games have looked pretty good. Jazz on the road are always a question mark. Normally what happens with the Jazz is they play close on the road, but it all seems to boil down to that first quarter. I've seen them absolutely just lose a game in the first quarter just because they can't shoot and everybody else is screaming at them like they can't miss. So if they can keep the game somewhat close in the first quarter, they seem to do all right. We think they're going to do that here in Detroit. Jazz plus 3.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half, 11 for the game. Lauri Markkanen 3+ threes. That's getting pretty juicy at 3 of them. Stewart under 14.5 points. Cade under 28.5 points. Jalen Duren over or 1+ assist first quarter. Stewart under 5.5 field goals made. Keontae George over 3.5 rebounds. Stewart under 1.5 threes. Jurkic for the Jazz over 2.5 turnovers. Stewart under 22.5 points and rebounds combined. We're kind of picking on Stewart there a little bit, but you know, got to take advantage of places that you can, especially on these player props, as they are getting dialed in already. The books are 2 weeks in. All right, 7 o'clock Eastern time frame. Nets and Pacers. This line's taken off already. Pacers at home. Not that. You know, they're not great, but they're better than what the Nets can throw out there. I mean, we've seen the Nets play. It's been ugly. It's been gross. Nobody wants to watch. Pacers minus 1.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 6.5 for the game. Siakam for 7+ points in the first quarter. Siakam under 5.5 assists. Martin under 17.5 par points, assists, rebounds combined. Walker for the Pacers over 14.5 points. Terrence Mann over 3.5 rebounds. Walker for 1+ block. And Jackson over 8.5 points. And Michael Porter Jr. under 18.5 points in that one there. Right? Pacers Nets, just whet everybody's appetizer, right? Everybody wants to watch Pacers Nets. 76ers in the Cavs, also 7 o'clock Eastern time. 76ers on that back-to-back. Cavs favored by 9.5, 234.5 total. Well, there's one thing that can be said basically for 76ers games so far this year. There's a lot of scoring. And we think there's going to be even more here. This thing's taken off by a point as well. It was 233.5 when we got it, now 234. 76ers Cavs over 57.5 first half, 115.5 first half. And 233.5 for the game. Donovan Mitchell, 25+ points. Mobley under 13.5 rebounds and assists combined. Donovan Mitchell over 8.5 field goals made. Kelly Oubre, 2+ threes. Oubre for 1+ block. DeAndre Hunter over 3.5 rebounds. VJ Edgecombe over 1.5 threes made. Hunter over 1.5 rebounds in the first quarter. Donovan Mitchell for 3+ turnovers. Evan Mobley for 20+ points. Next game up, as we continue to roll through here, Wizards and Celtics. All right, so we're not going to take a side here in this one. Stating that ahead of time, due to the fact that the Celtics might be, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but like take a 2-point shot. It's allowed. Celtics favored by 11.5 here, 230 total. Wizards on the road. I mean, it all depends on what Boston does shooting wise, and they haven't put more than 2 quarters together anyway. But yeah, no sides, just some player props for us in this one. I can't figure out what the Celtics are. The Celtics can't figure out what they are either. Keyshawn George, one of the biggest surprises so far this season, and how he's taken off over 5.5 rebounds. Sarr for over 1.5 blocks. Sarr over 7.5 rebounds. Derek White under 23.5 points and assists combined. Anthony Simons over 18.5 points and assists combined. Sarr 1+ assists first quarter. We've hammered this thing the last 4 games. Going back to it again, Sarr over 1.5 blocks and steals. And Keyshawn George 3+3s. Who's not having fun already, right? Next game up. We get to another 7:30 Eastern time frame. Knicks at home facing the T-Wolves. And there's still no Ant-Man. Julius Randle going back to New York for a little bit of fun. Knicks are favored by 5.5, 229.5 total. I still think the Knicks offense looks extremely disconjointed, but they do normally play really well at home. I do like the fact how they've got Miles Bridges a lot more involved. That, I think, is a major, major plus for down the road. So they look a little off a little early, but I think they should be fine here in this game against the T-Wolves. Surprised they were only a 5.5 point favorite. Thought it'd be closer to 7.5. Knicks -1.5 first quarter, 3 first half, 5.5 for the game. Jaden McDaniels over 1.5 turnovers. Jaden McDaniels over 5.5 field goals made. Jaden McDaniels 1+ assist in the first quarter. Julius Randle 7+ rebounds. Josh Hart over 18.5 par points, assists, rebounds combined. McDaniels 14+ points. McBride over a half a steal and block combined. McDaniels over 19.5 par points, assists, rebounds. Julius Randle over 27.5 points and rebounds combined. Julius Randle for 21 points. Miles McBride over 1.5 threes. And Bridges, who's been very good so far at 2+ threes. OG Anunoby over 1.5 steals. He's stealing the ball like crazy at home. And Miles Bridges over 3.5 assists. As we continue on here through the NBA, Rockets, Grizzlies. Grizzlies at home getting 7.5, 232.5 total. All of a sudden, the Grizzlies can't shoot. The Rockets are a little bit slower paced anyway. They're not a big 3 team. I mean, they'll take some, but Durant's not a big-time 3-point shooter. Sengun, he can make some as well, but Jabari Smith was hurt. Reed Shepherd's been okay. Men Thompson's not a big 3-point shooter, stuff like that. So, should be an under game is what we're anticipating here between the Rockets and the Grizz. Let's give you this one here. Rockets Grizz under 59.5 first quarter, 118.5 first half, 232.5 for the game. The one guy I've really been impressed with for the Rockets is Eason. We're going to play him at over 17.5 points and rebounds, over 19.5 par points, assists, and rebounds. Sengun plus money for 10+ rebounds, so that one might worth definitely a little bit of a sprinkle there. Then we get into Jarrett Jackson, why not, Jr., under 24.5 points and rebounds, under 5.5 rebounds. Jack Londale, 1+ assists in the first quarter. Coward for the Grizzlies, 15+ points and assists. Eason, who we mentioned earlier, we got a couple more plays on him as well. 12+ points and over 1.5 threes in that one there as well. Next game up as we roll through this NBA slate. We're getting through it pretty quick. Let's see here. We've got Pelicans and Mavs, 8:30 Eastern time frame. Mavs favored by 7.5. Pelicans coming off that back-to-back. Pels do get a win at home against the Hornets, though. 226.5 total. Don't really like the side or the total too much here. Wouldn't be surprised if that goes over, but the Mavs have not been lighting the world on fire either, and don't like the Pelicans here on a back-to-back. But Jordan Poole under 2.5 rebounds. Jones for the Pelicans over 1.5 steals and blocks. Jones under 15.5 points and rebounds. Klay Thompson, how many times have we said this only this year? Under 2.5 threes made. Daniel Gafford over 2.5 points first quarter. Naj Marshall under a half a three. Hasn't made one in 5 straight games. PJ Washington, 9+ rebounds. Cooper Flagg, I know I'm playing against everybody's favorite, under 16.5 points there. Just hasn't, 4 out of the last 5 games, he's been under that point. The Mavs just really haven't taken off. It's okay. I didn't expect them to be stellar. I figured they really where the Mavs were going to make up ground was going to be at, once we get past January, and hopefully Kyrie's back, AD, things of that nature, and then Cooper can play a little bit, maybe less of an important role, maybe have a few more open looks, things of that nature, but they're hanging, and they're trying to hang in there, the Mavs are, that's for sure. Next game up, 9 o'clock Eastern time frame. Nuggets favored by 9.5 against the Heat. Heat coming off that back-to-back and snagging that thing out late. Let's see. 242.5 total. That's a big total, isn't it? But the one thing that the Nuggets do, I guess they believe in scoring points because they ain't playing much defense. The Heat, on the other hand, have been doing the same thing. Normally, you don't think Heat, you think defensive team. That has not been what this team is. They've been all offense all the time. We like this total, even though it's 242. I think it's still got some value there. I think this thing's played in the 250s. Heat Nuggets over 61.5 first quarter, 122.5 first half, 242.5 for the game. Christian Braun over 16.5 points and rebounds combined. Jokic over 1.5 steals. Cam Johnson under 3.5 rebounds. Larson for the Heat over a half assist first quarter. Jaime Jaquez over 4.5 rebounds. Christian Braun over 18.5 par points, assists, rebounds combined. Bam Adebayo over 12.5 rebounds and assists. Braun over 12.5 points. Ware for the Heat, 1+ turnover. Wiggins for the Heat over 1.5 steals and blocks combined. Norman Powell for 2+ turnovers. Fontecchio off the bench, 1+ point first quarter and 3+ field goals made. Bruce Brown, 3+ rebounds. Bam Adebayo over 32.5 par. A lot of props in that game just because we think it's going to be such high scoring. Might as well get in on everything as well. Next game up, we got the Spurs-Lakers. So we got a lot of late games, which is good for us out here in the West. Lakers favored by 2.5. Spurs come off a turd in Phoenix. I mean, it was a turd. Wemby did nothing. Stephen Castle got his 5+ rebounds, but other than that, that game was just an absolute shit show. Spurs, we'll see what they do against the Lakers. Wemby should be parked underneath the basket. If he's not, they need to get some introspective on this one. We do like the Lakers. Luke is playing. Austin Reeves game time decision. It looks like we like the Lakers money line, first quarter, first half, and game. Wemby under 4.5 assists. Luka 4+ threes made. Guess what? Stephen Castle 5+ rebounds. I understand it's getting extremely juicy. Wemby over 3.5 blocks. Hachimura over 1.5 threes made. Devin Vassell under 16.5 points. Hachimura over 12.5 points in that one there. Next game up. And there's not a lot of props in this particular game. There's some, but not a lot of players in it. Warriors, who come off the back-to-back after a big win against Phoenix. They beat them up, barely covering the 10.5. So we got Warriors and Kings in Sacramento. Okay, so this line was a little weird. So we do like the Warriors, I think, to win this game. This line's already went down. This thing, money line, was like +130. Now all of a sudden down to +120 at a lot of spots. We do like Warriors money line, first quarter, first half, and game. Like I said, there's not a lot of player props, but there's 2 we're going to be playing. Kuminga under 32.5 par, points, assists, rebounds combined. And DeRozan, 8+ rebounds and assists are over 7.5. We'll probably have a couple more player props we're going to add to that particular one there, but just not a lot available as the Warriors just got done playing. And the same can be said for the last game as well between the Thunder and the Trailblazers. Blazers getting 5.5 at home, 228.5 total. Thunder were getting beat up. They got beat up in the first quarter against the Clips. They got it close, but we're still behind at halftime and still end up winning that game by a boatload of points. So second half was very good. And, of course, no Kawhi Leonard. God forbid Kawhi play a couple games in a row. We do like the Blazers in this spot. I think they catch the Thunder at a right time. The Blazers, I think, have a good chance to win this one outright, but we'll take the 5.5 instead. Blazers plus 1.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, 5.5 for the game. Kamara over 19.5 par. Avita over 5.5 points. First quarter was plus money on FanDuel. Avita over 32.5 par points, assists, rebounds combined. Jeremiah Grant has had 16 plus points in 5 consecutive games, so why not a sixth? So 16 plus for them. Kamara over 14.5 points and assists. Grant over 18.5 points plus rebounds, and Avita for 21 plus points. We might come back with a few things there on the Thunder as well. We just wanted to try to get this out as we've been under the weather a little bit and extremely busy, so we haven't had a basketball episode in a minute. We wanted to try to get that out for you as soon as possible as well. So check that out. A lot of plays we just went through. Like I said, it's a monster NBA slate. It's a light night in college basketball, top 25, so nothing for us college basketball-wise that we liked. Well, I'm sure we'll be back on that for Thursday. But if you like the content you're seeing on the channel and show, make sure you subscribe to the channel, throw us a like, turn on notifications. It don't cost you nothing for that. Shows a lot of, whether you're watching my show or somebody else's, shows a lot of love for the creators as well. Also, private Discord channel available to all of you out there. Couple hundred plus members who love doing the same thing that you do, and that's sports wagering. You can find the link in the YouTube channel page as well in the comments section. You're going to get all of our bets early. You're going to get all of our unit sizes. You're going to get bonus material. You're going to college football, NFL football, college basketball, NBA basketball, baseball when that's going on. You're also going to get Formula One, which we don't put out for the public when we got plays there. Golf, UFC, we don't put those out for the public either. There's action. Not only that, a lot of the members are telling you what they're playing, if they're playing hockey or tennis or soccer, some sports that we don't do. But they'll throw those out there as well. We got multiple cappers on there. The Discord is a great place to be. If you are a sports betting degenerate, I promise you will love this channel. Check it out when you got some time. Well worth the investment if you're wagering a few $100s plus a month combined. Yeah, this is definitely the spot for you. Comment section as well as the YouTube channel page, you will find the link to the Discord. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.